Alright, the Jelly Bean Snuggle has ended, so we will get back to where we were. Still have a good bit of time in the day, so let me see what else I can do, if anything. I know I left this because it's moldy. That's obvious. Oh, I can break down some cloth. Let me go ahead and face the bed while I do this. Because that's one thing I need to do is break down cloth. Alright, so, yeah. So people were mad because, and yes, I'm getting right back into The Last of Us 2 spoilers, so, you know, yeah. So yeah, people were mad because Joel went out because Abby was smart about taking him out. So, I mean, and it's not like she did this alone either. She didn't, you know, I mean, like, she started solo, but she came in with the team, and they were there specifically to hunt Joel, so. Oh, no, cancel. That's not what I wanted to do. Woo, I'm glad I caught that. Harvest. Harvest it, harvest it, harvest it. But yeah, so, you know, you in the beginning of the game, they set it up really interesting because you play... I meant to harvest this too. I guess I accidentally repaired it. Oh, well. This is what I get for trying to jump back into where I was and not paying enough attention. Harvest it. You switch back and forth between Ellie and Abby on a regular basis. So, you know, when you first switch to Abby, you're like, who is this? And there's a certain level of curiosity. And then you of course, get to the lead up where she kills Joel, and it's like, okay, this is your antagonist. I get it. But then, like, for the next half of the game, you're Ellie. And then for the following half, you're Abby again. And, like, your paths don't cross until the end of that. So it's kind of like you're invested in Ellie's story already because you've built up with her from the previous game as well as in this new one, you know, with the death of Joel. But then you're, like, you know, you're Abby's story would have been interesting if they'd kept the back and forth that they had in the beginning. And that's where I have one of the problems with the game. Because, like, I didn't mind Abby's story. I wasn't necessarily invested in her, but I was curious enough. It's like, okay, we have this new person. Let's see what she's about, kind of deal. And so I was down for that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to make some water soon. We'll save that for the morning when we wake back up, because it's still getting kind of... I wonder if I shouldn't try to get some... Let's get some wood going, because we're gonna need to... yeah, we need to boil some water. Although we're about to pass out, I gotta watch that. Here's 6. There we go. 6 more. Now we're really struggling. Alright.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Start a fire. Oh, I don't have any tinder. Yeah, I'll use hunting knife for this. Because I need tinder. Alright. Yeah, okay, I guess we'll start with the fire log. Please work. I don't want to waste my fire log. Fire logs are good. I need you to work. I need you... Everybody's favorite minigame. Will the fire start?
Tired.
I know you're tired. You'll live. You will live, believe it or not. Hey, there we go.
Perfect.
All right. Cook it up. And drink it up. Okay, so yeah. I think the game would have been a lot more interesting if they had done the back and forth between Ellie and Abby like they did in the beginning. This is entertaining looking. So... I need just a little bit more. We'll do reclaimed wood for this. And there we go. And now...
Sure I can carry much more.
It doesn't matter, you're going to get some sleep. We should be able to sleep through the night with this one. Oh, and there's an Aurora. Oh, we're staying in here. Yep. Hey, there we go. Ooh. Eat that right now. Eat it right now, because, man. Woo. I did not want to lose the possibility of getting that buff again. That was close. Okay. Do I want to take the cooking pot? I'm tempted to take the cooking pot just because I know we're going to need it at some point. Let's go ahead and repair these. And I'll get back into more spoiler talk in a bit. It's just, I have to focus on this part. Yeah, we'll repair it again. Because that's, 43 is not good. There we go. Okie dokie. Alright, so that puts us... And how much do you weigh? You don't weigh much. We'll take it. Okay. So now we gotta get out of here.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Oh yeah, I forgot to look at the map. Let's see. I don't remember if there's 3 ways out of here or just 2. Hang on, let's just go and get out the flare because I don't want to have to stop and fight the wolf if I don't need to, but if it's just 1, then the flare is fine. Ooh. This is not what I would call good weather. But hey, no wolves. Alright. Nope, there's a wolf. He's just way back there. Sorry, Woofy, but I'm already out walking you. I do think it's kind of neat that the developers programmed in the instinct to chase. And he's still kind of coming at me, but... This is the backwards episode. Alright, let's see. So we'll have to go up and around like we did before. Are those the weather-changing crows? Or is something dead nearby? Yeah, Wolfie turned back finally. Okay, good. I'm hoping those were the weather-changing crows and that things are about to get better. Boy, things sure do look glum. Anyway. So yeah, they didn't do a good job with the back and forth between Ellie and Abby. And I think if they had, then it would have been better. Because like, if you remember with the first game, and spoilers for this one as well, just in case, you know, someone stumbles upon my video and hasn't played the first one. You know, they had the seasons. You had your spring, summer, winter, or spring, summer, fall, winter. You know, or at the very least you had your summer, fall, winter, spring. Because you basically took a year to cross the country. And that was like little segments. Well, in this one, they do something similar, but it's like the number of days you're in a city. So like day 1, you go through day 1 and do something, and then day 2 and do something, then day 3 do something, and then you switch over to Abby, and she's on day 1. And I think what they should have done is they should have done the day 1 Ellie and then the day 1 Abby. And, you know, that would have made it more interesting, because then you would have been like, how are these characters going to find each other again, and what are you going to do when you get there? Okay, so those are the corpse crows. That's right, because there's always like a dead dude over there. I don't remember this. This is new. When was this here? This has never been here before. That or I've never looked up here before. I swear I know this map. What? Where does this go? Let's see, now I gotta know. Because I have not ever found this before. I would like to be able to see, though. Aha, Cinder Hills Coal Mine. No, I didn't want to use the flare. Oh well, too late. Hopefully I can find a new one.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
I might need more cured leather later. Oh, never mind, got it. Don't need that. Because I'm not going to be trying to craft weapons and ammo. Yay, I wasted a flare. Oh well, that's okay. I will live. I'll take the lantern fuel though. Because that's what I meant to light. Oh well, I'll just use this while I'm here. Oh, okay, yeah, this is, I think this is, this might be the mine that you find in the, story mode. I could be wrong, though. It does look very similar. But yeah, so I think they should have done the back and forth, and they didn't do that. So it's kind of like, eh. But yeah, it's really interesting because Abby's story is actually different from Ellie's. And it's kind of like this. Yeah, it is, because I remember the elevators. Okay, so yeah, they added this. They specifically added this for, hey, there's a new flashlight. That's kind of cool. It's not going to do me any. I don't think it's going to be any different. 61 versus what?
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Yeah, versus 59. I'll take the 61. Oh, is that it? This is it? This is as far as it goes? Am I actually leaving the coastal highway then? Because it's not like I can go in it. This doesn't work. It don't work. It don't work. There's no... Okay. Alright then. So, yeah, that's a very short little cave. I legitimately thought that we were going to go somewhere. I was wrong. I wasted a flare too. I'm not happy about that. Oh well. I'll live. Yeah, because there's no other ways back that way or nothing. Okay. Well, but at least now I know this is here, so if I'm out and about playing on this map again, I've got an emergency place I can dart into. Okay. Good to know. But yeah, their stories are very different, and it's interesting because it comes to... Oh. Yeah, this just got a lot harder to see. Okay. But yeah, basically the way Ellie's story is she can't let go of her hatred. Abby learns to do that. And it's not just because she got revenge, it's because she sees how it affects her friends. Like, all of her friends were there when she did what she did to poor Joel. And most of them were not happy about it. Like, or at the very least, they weren't happy with how it went down. They didn't necessarily care that it went down, they just weren't happy with how. Okay, so I can go up this way. Or I can go... I'm gonna go up this way. Because we've got plenty of daylight. What we don't have is plenty of visibility. Anyway. So yeah, basically, you know, Abby's not having a good time with her friends at all. You know, like, several of them are not happy with having participated in Joel's death, even though Abby's the only one who delivered the blows. Okay, there's crows nearby. I'm not quite sure where, but there's crows somewhere. Probably down there over that deer carcass that occasionally appears. And so she has, you know, a major falling out with most of them. But while she does that, she also makes, you know, new friends from a faction that her faction is at war with. So it's really kind of interesting to see how that develops. She's like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, they're people too, even though I've been really good at killing them. You know, I should actually start treating them like people again. And so it shows her kind of overcoming that desire for hatred up until she finds out that, you know, Ellie's been killing the friends that she's, you know, that she's had these fallings out with, because Ellie is like, y'all killed Joel, so I'm going for all of you, instead of just going for Abby. And so it shows, you know, the vicious cycle of not being able to move on, and what that does to you as a person. Versus, you know, trying to move on, and yeah, you might still go through a lot of crap, because Abby does. But also, you know, learning to let go. And the difference between Ellie and Abby is Abby learns to let go. Ellie does not. And that's another reason people are like, I hate this game. This game sucks. And the game doesn't suck. You just don't like the fact that Ellie couldn't let go. And don't get me wrong, I'm there with you, but that doesn't make it a bad story. It does not make it a bad story. Because, I mean, think about it. Ellie already had to be super tough just because of the environment she was growing up in, and, you know, being essentially raised the last few years of her life by Joel. And Joel, yeah, we know he's capable of being a good dad, but look at what all he was capable of doing as well. You know, we've all seen the interrogation scene. He's even told Ellie about how it works. You know? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he didn't or couldn't tell her because it was too dark for even him. But it's not like he wasn't afraid to go to those places if he had to. He just chose to tone it down by the beginning of the first game. I don't like this. Whereas Ellie was just full-blown, I gotta have closure, this sucks, I gotta move on, I gotta, you know, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I can't let it go because of this. And she gives up a really good life for this. Hi, Jelly Bean, are you back for another round? Oh dear. Come on, Bean. Come on, Jelly Bean. She's a bean. Yes, I'm gonna make you guys listen to it this time. Especially since I think she's looking a little more unsure. Come on. That's a bean. And once again, Jelly Bean has stolen. She's stolen me. And she's being super extra sweet. So, yeah, this time you guys are going to have to tough it out. Because this way I can still at least make some kind of content. Aw, Bean. And, you know, get my thoughts across without having to wait like another hour for Jelly Bean snuggle to be over. So yeah, Abby learns to let go and Ellie does not. And that's a big thing. And Ellie pays for it. She seriously pays for not letting it go. Whereas Abby kind of gains from letting it go. And, like, yeah, it sucks because, you know, she loses her friends to Ellie. And she gets that drive for revenge and wants to kill Ellie. And the new friend she's made stops her. And kind of reminds her, hey, you still gotta be human. And so, you know, she's like, fine, I'll let you go, but don't you ever show your face again. And then so she goes off on doing her thing. And, you know, she later gets captured by, like, a completely different faction. And she gets it so rough. Like you actually see her lose body mass. And Abby is a beefy character. Like, she's beefy. Like, this chick. We're talking, like, pro wrestler here. So, you know, she loses a lot of body mass, and she just wants to get herself and her friend out of that situation, which Ellie actually saves them from. Because she can't let it go. And she starts to kind of help them, and then she's like, wait, I can't let you go. And so she threatens Abby's friend, and they have this long drawn out fight. And right as Ellie's about to win, she realizes she can't kill Abby, not because she's incapable at that point, but because she just can't bring herself to do it. And so she's like, "Fine, you can go." And then Abby takes off because Abby doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. She's like, "No, man, I don't care about you, what you did. I just want to take my friend and go. You know, it's whatever." And Ellie can't let go until that moment, and by then she's lost everything. And that's, you know, kind of where the note the game ends on. And keep in mind, I'm keeping a lot of, like, the more fun spoilers out of this because I'm not going to sit here and go over it plot by plot by plot by plot point. It's just I'm going to give you the gist because I'm countering the people that are like, this game sucks. That being said, I do have criticisms. And the first is, of course, you know, you go days 1, 2, and 3, and the city, you know, oh, my bean. My jelly bean. You go in there without a bean, because I has bean. As Ellie, and then you do 1, 2, and 3 as Abby, and oh my goodness, she's shoving her face into my face and being so cute. I wish you would purr for everybody. I wish you would. You know, my beanie bean. You gonna sniff the mic? My bean. She's leaning her head into my lips to get kisses. It's adorable. I love my bean. Okay. Okay. She stole the mic. She stole the mic. But yeah, you get the 1 through 3 is Ellie, and then the 1, 2, 3 is Abby, and that's a criticism for me. I think they should have done day 1 Ellie and then day 1 Abby, because then you could have had this build-up of what's going on between the two to see where they cross. Because, like you get through Ellie's and, like, you kill whoever, and then you can switch to Abby and be like, oh, that's the last time we see that person. And then you can kind of see the back and forth and try to guess, you know, well, when does Ellie come across this person once you get to Abby's day? And I think that's how that should have been handled. Because in the beginning, the back and forth worked out really well, because I was curious about what was going on. Like, how are these two characters going to connect? You know, what's going to happen? And like you put together pretty quick that Abby's after Joel, but it's still fun to like see her, to see the back and forth, and you know, because there's that narrative tension of how are these two paths going to cross and what's going to happen. Even though if you've done any kind of study on how to tell a story, you know what's going to happen. Like I never got the spoilers before I played the game, but I kind of had a feeling that the reason that Ellie was going to go on a big hate trip was because someone killed Joel. It's a logical progression. So yeah, and the difference is, you know, by the end of it, Abby gains, you know, a new sense of purpose and a new friend, and Ellie loses everything. So, you know, it's not a bad game. It just has some harsh. It's got some overly harsh critics. You know, some whiny people, a lot of whiny people, and then, you know, for me, it's just there's some things I would have done to make the gameplay better. Also, okay, so, you know, they said early on Ellie was going to be a stealthy type character. You know, you're going to benefit from going stealth with her, and I did. But here's the thing, like, Ellie got gypped, man. She got so gypped. She got gypped on supplies. She got gypped on weapons. And, like, I was playing on easy mode. And I felt gypped. Because when I play a story game for the first time, I want the story. So I'm going to... Hey, Bean. Okay, so she moved. So, sorry. A big chunk of this is, you know... pause menu, but oh well. So, the first time I play a story-based game, I play an easy to get the story. So I did. I popped in easy mode. It's funny because there was also a very easy mode, and I'm curious to see just how, air quote, hard that is. But yeah, Ellie gets completely gypped. Because when I was playing as Abby, and like, I have no problems with Ellie and Abby both having different playstyles, because Abby plays more like Joel, where you can go just balls to the wall with your equipment if you need to. You know, like, you can toss Molotovs, you can, you know... Or, well, you don't have Molotovs, you have pipe bombs, because they have slightly different weapon sets. But, like, you can more readily fight the infected, you can, you know, you get more supplies, you get more workbenches. Like, seriously, they give you way more workbenches as Abby than you get as Ellie. And you can just completely go all out. And on the one hand, I don't mind having two different styles of gameplay for two different characters with different builds. That makes sense. I like that. What I do not like is the fact that they did legitimately gyp Ellie. Like, aw, she's a bean. She's got her toy and it's so cute. Sorry, I have to gush over my cats. But yeah, what I don't like is, as Ellie, I did not come across anywhere near the same amount of crafting benches. I did not come across anywhere near the amount of supplies. I did not come across anywhere near the amount of, you know, good weapons. And, like, I could craft a lot more as Ellie than I could as Abby by the end of it. But, like, it got to a point where they gave me a silenced machine gun, and I didn't want to use it because... Oh, let's go and eat some bear meat. Nom that up. Get them calories. Get some water, too. There we go. But yeah, like... Because of how few supplies I got as Ellie, I didn't want to use that thing. And I didn't wind up using it but, like, once toward the end. And they already give it to you toward the end, so it's like, here you go, here's this really cool thing that we're going to just completely botch for you. And it's like, thanks, I hate it. So, you know, that part's definitely not a fun time. And yeah, Ellie got completely gypped. Like, don't get me wrong, her gameplay was fun. And Abby's gameplay was fun. But between the two, it feels like they were purposefully making Abby's gameplay easier so they would make her more likable, instead of just telling the story to make us like her. Because, you know, like, I'll be honest, because I got days 1, 2, and 3 as Ellie, and then switched to days 1, 2, and 3 as Abby, I didn't really care about Abby at that point. I'm like, I'm not invested in her, because I know where she's going to wind up at the end. And like, the end of, like, the end being their initial encounter together. But, like, I know where Abby's going to wind up at the end. So, why is this... Why do I have to go through all this? You know, it's just, okay. Sure. And it just kind of feels like that's what they did. But yeah, I mean... Like, if they had... Like, on easy mode especially, if they had been smarter with the supplies they'd given Ellie, and where the benches and things of that nature. Her gameplay would have worked out so much better when compared to Abby's, because then it's like, oh, okay, so with Abby I have Ravine Falls Railway Line. I don't remember how to get to Pleasant Valley, but I think you do it from Mystery Lake. So my goal is to get to some sort of shelter, and then worry about where to go from there. That looks weird. Anyone else think that looks weird? That looks just a little weird. I'm pretty sure that's not how that particle is supposed to work. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm really sure that's not how that particle is supposed to... I'm just going to take a screenshot of that, because that's not how that particle is supposed to look. Yeah, this is really creepy right now. Oh, it's weird because it kind of made crossing easier for me. I guess also because I've done it just enough times, I'm like, yeah, okay. See, this environment would not have been cool in The Last of Us. I mean, like, it would have been, because that's the point, but it also would have been like, eh. Oh, here's a fun thing. Minor spoiler. In The Last of Us, the first one, if you read the right paper that you pick up somewhere along the way, you learn that there are 4 stages of the infected. One of these stages is called Stalker. This is apparently the stage between runners and clickers, and yet we come across stalkers maybe once in the first one, and you can't even tell that they're different. So it's like, okay, these are the stalkers. They act like runners. They just look half clickerified. So really, what's the big deal with these guys? In The Last of Us Part 2, they made the stalkers their own thing. Like, they made the stalkers their own thing. And I like it. Like, I both hate it and like it. Like, I hate it because I'm sitting there going, aw, crap, these things. But I love it because I'm sitting there going, aw, crap, these things. As opposed to, I think those were stalkers. Because at the beginning of the game, when we started running into infected... Well, at the beginning of the time when we started running into infected... my friend and I were sitting there going, you think that's a stalker or is that a runner? I mean, it kind of looks like a clicker, but it's not clicking. And then they made the difference between, like, clickers and bloaters more obvious, too. Like, bloaters got beefed up visually. And they got beefed up in other ways, too, because, if it's going to be a bloater, you shouldn't be able to take it out with 1 Molotov. Or 2, depending on the difficulty you're playing on. Man, I fought one of those things, and I think it ate, like, 4 improved Molotovs. So yeah, it was just not a good time. But yeah, the game is good. The gameplay is fine, except for the complaints I've given, and it just needed a little bit of slightly different work. That is all. Like do the back and forth with Abby and Ellie the way you did in the beginning, because that would have made it more interesting, and then just be a little bit more fair to Ellie, so that her gameplay is interesting. And you're good. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to branch off here or not. But I think if I go that way, it's not the coastal highway, it's Mystery Lake. And if nothing else at Mystery Lake, I can find shelter. Because I need to find shelter and then check a map, and I'm not going to check a map while recording. I learned my lesson that time around. So yeah, we're definitely going to head this direction. My time is also running out, so I will go ahead and cut it here and see you guys in the next video.